Hello.
Welcome back to Uncancel Culture.
The third episode.
The third episode. Oh my goodness.
I know.
It's been a hectic week.
Hectic. Let me just say this.
Couple weeks, really.
Yeah. We're filming this on our launch day.
Yeah.
So if you listened to the first two episodes already on the launch day, thank you so much.
Thank you.
The outpouring of support and commentary.
It's been a lot of commentary. We're going to get to that.
We going to get to that. Before we even drop the episode. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
To my hate, let me stop. I'm going to shout y'all out later.
We're going to get to you. But thank you so much thus far. Y'all are really running it up as we literally are speaking. And I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah.
Ground up podcasting. We're excited. And very proud of each other.
I'm proud of you. This is an honor doing this with Christina.
Yeah.
Yeah. The two villains. And I have horns today. More ha 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 ha.
No, truly, I think it's different, being like friends for so long and then creating with a friend. There's like, oh, you create like this, or you create like, oh, this is where we mesh, or this is okay. Your creative process is this, and then what?
I don't think people understand like really that we are sister signs. Like we really balance each other out.
Yeah.
Like, it's a balance. Like I think it's a balance, at least.
The Taurus and Scorpio be. Yeah. And then I want to get into more of our chart.
Yeah.
Like
to the. Because we do be beefing too. Because I got a lot to say about Scorpio. It's a long.
I have a lot to say about Taurus too. But the difference between me is I love Tauruses. I
love y'all too.
Enjoy them. I'm around a lot. I got a lot of Tauruses in my family. I've dated Taurus, but I got your tea. No, I got y'all's tea.
You don't know nothing about me. We're going to strike the next part from the record. And you better not say a goddamn thing.
Oh, you see, and as a Taurus would, look.
Yeah.
Keep your mouth shut.
Okay.
What were you saying? Oh, okay. But yeah, thank y'all.
Thanks, y'all.
We can get into our next segment, which is our first segment.
So our first segment is question from the culture, and we do have a really interesting question from the culture already. So thank you to everybody submitting questions. Please continue to submit questions. If you want to submit the questions in the comments, you can do that. If you want to submit the questions via our email, you can do that. You can find that in our bios across platforms. Speaking of which, follow us on platforms, please. That is on TikTok and Instagram and... Do we have any other ones that we want to name? YouTube. And I guess
the other
if you want, you can follow us on
the bird
Twitter. That would be at Cancel the Pod, Uncancel the Pod. But yeah, I don't even want to. Yeah,
we gonna get there.
Twitter,
we
got some words for y'all. It's gonna be Twitter. We got beef with you directly. We're gonna keep this in. So I can post this clip specifically. If you was one of them bitches mumbling and cackling up on the timeline, this segment later on is gonna be for y'all. But we're gonna put y'all on pause for right now because we have an initial segment.
Put a pin in it.
Yeah. Our first segment is questions from the culture. And you want to read the first question?
Yeah. The first question is: does narcissism show up in cancel culture?
What a complex question.
I know.
It's so simple, but so complex.
It might be helpful to... you have the DSM-5.
I do.
People think narcissism isn't... There's narcissistic traits and what's actually narcissism. I have my macro idea, but it might be helpful if...
Yeah.
The bootleg therapist.
As a fake therapist, I'm going to search up the DSM-5 criteria on my phone because, every therapist does not memorize every single diagnostic criteria for every single disorder. But I know how y'all gonna clock it because I don't know off the top of my head. I'm gonna continue to be the bootleg TikTok
therapist. Are you even licensed? And if you even before I joke, if you see a DSM-5, that girl is thick.
It is very thick.
My social worker and therapist friends tell me it's like the Bible.
It do. You got to keep you a copy.
Yeah, and they update it, right?
I don't think it's updated recently, but they should, child. They're still not putting CPT. This is the therapist rant. They're not putting CPTSD on there, and I think they need to.
Really?
It's still not officially a diagnosis, but it should be.
And that's to show you that things can still change and need upgrading.
Things can still change. Okay, so let me pull up the diagnostic criteria. You give me 1 second.
We giving you a second?
Okay, so there are official diagnostic criteria for narcissistic personality disorder, not to be confused with narcissistic behavior and traits, because all of us have narcissistic behaviors and traits. Everybody hates to hear that part, but yes, all of us have the capacity to do narcissistic things. It is like when you are a baby, for example, like toddlers are the biggest narcissist on the planet, but you are supposed to grow out of that over time. Some of us are traumatized. It's a trauma response. I know how they feel about that one. Narcissism is birthed out of trauma. Other factors can go into it as well, don't get me wrong, but like it's typically tied to trauma. Okay, so there are 9 diagnostic criteria. It has to be persistent, 5 out of the 9 in order for you to have narcissistic personality disorder. A lot of y'all about to find out that some of your loved ones, because I'm going to read off these criteria. Some of y'all going to find out that some of y'all
That's scary. Once you read off criteria of things and people start popping up in your head, like you see their picture in the little DSM-5 dictionary, like, oh,
yeah,
that's you.
No,
that's me. Sometimes it's me.
No, Sade, no, I do. I'm just saying. So the first one is a grandiose sense of self-importance. Then there's a preoccupation with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love. There is a belief that he or she or they is special and unique and can only be understood by or should be associated with other special or high-status people or institutions. There is a need for excessive admiration, a sense of entitlement. Interpersonally, they are exploitive. So this is interpersonal exploitive behavior. They will take advantage of other people. Then there is envy of others, or a belief that others are envious of them. And then there is a demonstration of arrogant and haughty behaviors or attitudes. These are the 9 diagnostic criteria. If you have 5 of those traits, I will go see that lady or me. Not me.
You sure?
Not me. Don't come see me. Go see the lady though. Yeah. But yeah,
so does that show up in cancel culture? I
have several thoughts actually.
I think some of those traits do.
Yeah.
In a societal way, in a cultural way. But we don't talk about cultural. I don't think you can call it cultural narcissism.
Cultural narcissism is a stretch, but I do. Well, hold on. It's not that much of a stretch. I'll be honest. Like American culture is inherently, in many ways, like narcissistic.
Right.
We kind of like the backbone of this culture in general is that that's tough because I know how y'all do. That is not me saying that everybody who's American is narcissistic. We all have traits, people across the globe.
Right.
However, our culture has like interwoven into it like a lot of narcissistic characteristics and traits.
I think that's what I was getting to, where it's like we have names for it. It's just not maybe cultural narcissism. But if you think of all the types of isms and the intersections that have privileges within those isms and phobias, it's all of that. White supremacy, straight up.
Yeah, being racist, you have to be a narcissist because it's like, why the fuck do you care about like what the next bitch is doing, like what they look like, the shade of their skin? I don't understand.
Homophobe, racist, misogynist, transphobe, like all of that. If we're just talking about how like we're using the language.
You want to know what narcissists have in common? Like all of them have in common?
What?
Deep insecurity.
Clock that T.
Some of y'all didn't hear that, but you should have.
Clock that T.
Transphobes, deeply insecure.
Yeah.
Don't make me wake that up.
Misogynists.
Deeply insecure.
Deeply.
Very deeply insecure.
Very insecure.
Deep as hell.
Woo. I had names popping up in my head, so let me relax.
Oh, no, say and like I told Lenard the other day, say their names or keep it on the playground. Say their names.
I thought the first thing when you said trans so deeply insecure, I thought Dave Chappelle.
Oh my God.
And when that doll made that video, like, ooh, did a doll upset him? And like I'm not gonna go as far as, allegations on that. But like
we got your T, bitch. We know y'all be fucking with the dolls.
If you think of like hello.
You gotta say that.
Oh, no, say it. Or I'll use a more general example. Cishet, I don't even just cis women feeling really like trans women are gonna take their womanhood from them. That's deep insecurity.
How
So
can somebody
yeah,
take your gender? Like, that don't even make sense.
it
I
don't.
don't even understand that, like, type of I mean, sometimes I'd be like, maybe I should put myself in the mind of, like, these people and their sick thoughts, but then I'm like, then I would be dumb.
That
I'm
would be.
sorry. I don't wanna think like y'all, actually. I
It,
don't get it.
but it goes to once. I mean, once you do, you just it's about an insecurity or fear. You could do it for a second, and you're like, this is insecurity and fear.
Yeah.
What are you're afraid that a trans woman is going to take away your woman. Also, let's talk about what womanhood even is, because when you break it down for real, it's
What is
like
gender in
womanhood,
general?
what is gender, all of that shit has just been built to kind of confine us in these constructs that
Okay.
don't work for us anyways.
Oh, wait, we should say our qualifications, because you studied women and gender studies too, right?
Not as a like major, but that was my thesis.
Oh,
Was
I remember you. Yeah.
yeah.
Wake the tea up.
Like this, yeah. Okay, so bachelor's political science French, but I got my master's in international relations and diplomacy, and my thesis 81 pages.
Damn.
Might I add, presented at the international level in case people forget.
Tea.
Was called the Red Herring Trial. And it questioned whether or not the ICC, the International Criminal Court, could give adequate justice in cases of sexual violence. And I used the case study of Jean-Pierre Bemba of the Democratic Republic of Congo. He was found guilty of a whole bunch of sex crimes under the Articles of War Crimes and Crimes Against Humanity, and then he was acquitted. So I did a lot of my thesis, like the lit review was about feminist theories and then liberal institutionalism. So I did a lot of work with like women and gender studies and militarized masculinity in society and what an authentic victim looks like. You looked at like law stuff. So that was what my thesis was about. And in that 2 years of that being like my focus, yeah, I learned a lot about gender. And
yeah, I can imagine.
One of my favorite classes was the gender war militarization, and we looked at how gender fuels war and how gender fuels civilians outside of war.
I actually took a class on that too.
It's good, huh?
I just for context, y'all, I have a women and gender studies degree in addition to a political science degree, in addition to my master's in social work. So a huge part of that, those studies, especially when you study women and gender study, when you study gender, like you learn a lot about how the most impacted people, like in all wars, are women and children. Those are the people who suffer the most. Like those are the people who bear the consequences. I mean, look at the world right now. Those are the people who suffer the consequences of all of that from before.
Right.
And I say that to say, though, like the reason why I think it's important for us to say our credentials is because this part is going to offend some of the people listening. Are y'all ready? I'm going to offend y'all anyway. But if you're offended, don't duck if it don't apply.
Right.
But the point being, right, a lot of people like to speak, but a lot of people don't have like the education. And while I do believe that lived experience is very, very important, it cannot replace like actual education, like learning history, learning theory, and all that jazz. And I do want to acknowledge too, because this is where people like to like get it wrong a lot of times on the left. Like you cannot replace lived experience with education. Like those are just two different things. Like although I studied women and gender studies, and even though I have a degree in women and gender studies, I don't know what it's like to be a woman. So I will never be able to talk over anybody with the lived experience.
They work in tandem.
They work in tandem.
And also, as someone, I think both of us probably align with the like elitism within academia. And I started my platform because I wanted to make all the stuff that I had the ability and the privilege to learn more accessible. Like I'm having access to journal articles.
Wait, can I?
What?
What is the sound that you put in our promo video? It was the transgenderification. I'm sorry.
This is anti-intellectual trans.
And I'm not. I hate to laugh because he's actually one of my mutuals, but that shit had me cackling. I'm not gonna lie. Wow.
But like,
sorry.
Ooh,
that was messy. Sorry.
But I was in academia and I said, we're just all just around the table only talking to each other, and we need to be talking to people that like don't have access to education.
Accessible.
And I realized that it's not just the education within academia, because a lot of the things can be mirrored. It's just they use specific language to try to ice out people when it's like motherfuckers in the hood are saying the same type of shit, but we use a different language.
Hello?
So
oh my Jesus, wake that part up.
that the
We
lived
didn't stray so far away from the original
we showed it.
question.
We're gonna get back. We're gonna get back to the question.
We're gonna come back to y'all.
We are. Let me finish this thought. So it's like with the lived experience, one of the things of me living abroad and traveling, that really also showed me how like I have to make my work, and when I'm learning, like
Exactly.
match up with the lived experiences that I'm like not only experiencing but hearing from people from different parts of the world, that where and multiple things are going to be true at once. And like I might know this. I've had ambassadors in classrooms. I went to grad school in Paris,
She
France.
said, in case you didn't know, bitch.
And some of them would say some ignorant ass shit where I was like, that's crazy. Like, I put you on a pedestal because I thought this is what was needed. No, ma'am.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wanna like build onto that and just say, like, if the language isn't accessible, if you can't explain it to people like the everyday person, I feel like you're just wasting your fucking oxygen.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I think like people like some of the like the way I talk about mental health, and you can say whatever you want about how I talk about mental health. My colleagues and the people who support me really do love the way I talk about it
Mhm.
because I try my very hardest to make it accessible. I think like these paywalls that like the ivory towers of education are and have become like really do separate people from like getting information that could really be life changing. And I think like we should make sure the way that we speak like is practical. Like it's important that the everyday person should be able to hear and understand what we're talking about. And if your movement is going to be built around theory, if you cannot apply that theory because don't nobody know what the fuck you're talking about,
Right.
you need to hit the drawing board
And
and do it again.
And it shows you're not really talking to people in real life because you have to be able to code switch that language. You have to be able to bring it to praxis. And that also has gone into like bringing it back to the original question of like whether maybe some narcissism can come into cancel culture. Some of the aspects of people canceling others and trying to portray themselves to be like they know more is that weaponization of certain language. When it's like if you see someone or see me or whomever explaining something that might be complex in layman terms for it so it's accessible. And you think the way for you to show that they know what they're talking about is to put a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo together, that is you trying to position yourself and posit yourself as someone who has some authority. Yeah. And you think utilizing that is going to help the situation when it's really about your ego.
And you know what's so funny that you said that? Because we got a little flack because the name of this podcast is Uncancel Culture.
Are we going into our next segment?
Oh, do you want to hop into the I want to say one more piece.
Say
about
one more piece, and then
we're going to transfer.
Because I could.
But I will say I'll cover that in the next segment. But what I will add is that narcissism is so prevalent in the social media space, and so many people utilize and weaponize, like you're talking about, like this language, like the care, right? Because they do this to the people who care. You don't ever see people who are left on the left, and by left I mean left of conservatives, like, right? I mean left of anybody who voted for that demon.
Sorry, I was
that is now president. Anybody left of that is who I'm referring to. But like liberals, communists, socialists, democratic socialists, like you fucking name it. A lot of people go after, you never see them going as hard as they do on each other, or as us going as hard as we do on each other with other people on the right. And I think a large part of that is that people are trying really hard to exert power, and that's a big part of narcissism. Exert power over top of other people, especially if they are people who they think don't deserve access to visibility, which is a currency in this current day and age. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Clock that.
And with that, that's a good question. I haven't, basically, I hope we answer. You know what? I hope we just showed that we fleshed it out. Because that's also what this podcast is. It's not about answering things.
About that for hours too.
Right. There's more that we could add to that. But that being said, we'll move on to our next segment. Let me get our notes. Our next segment is, if you aren't familiar, the hot seat, where we discuss situations, people, scenarios that might get us canceled or are controversial, or situations where something was controversial and or attempted to be canceled. And for this week, the hot seat is
Uncancel Culture.
the podcast.
We are putting ourselves in the hot seat.
Like,
a
as the
lot of
brand.
people, right, for real. Let me say this: a lot of people had a lot to say
Mhm.
about our imagery, right? Because our promo was largely centered around like the jail theme.
Yeah.
And there are so many things that we have to talk about in this segment,
Right.
but there was a lot to say. People were saying like they hope that the podcast fails. They hope that
Right.
you know it flops. They said like we're making fun of incarcerated people. That Black people are some of the most jailed people
Right.
in the country.
And that's how we want to represent ourselves. Are you serious?
Mind you, this was from a barb. I just want that to sink in. This was from a barb. This was from someone with a Nicki Minaj Abbey.
Okay.
We can get into that. And this is no shade to Nicki. This is just about like representation. You want to talk about representation?
But anyways.
Mrs. Petty?
Yeah, that was the...
Okay.
That was right. Anyways. I mean, we could get
no
petty.
shade to Nicki, though.
We can get petty. That was the first kind of like critique that we saw. And let me just say this. We had talked about, when we talked about the rollout and the promo,
we knew
when we came up with this idea of like, oh, this should be like the theme. We verbatim, none of you bitches said anything that we didn't think you would say. You would think that we wrote the script for you.
Walked straight into
you
the
walked
point.
Straight into the point. Like you literally, as if we did a spell on you, hoodoo, voodoo, madness. And we talked about the fact that, first and foremost, besides us having these like academic credentials and the work we're doing, we're also creatives.
Yeah.
I've been doing, like I said, we've been creating full-time for a long time. And their imagery is powerful. I don't know if they're not teaching y'all how to, analyze political cartoons in the classrooms anymore. But the whole point of the jail theme is that cancel culture is carceral. It's that.
And they walked straight into the point.
Straight
I have
into
to
the
like
point.
really give it to y'all. Like, thank you for the alley-oop.
Round of applause.
Because there are a few things that I want to talk about. The first point, since you bring it up, the first point that I really want to focus on is this idea that we are making fun of incarcerated people. Like, I think that's so ridiculous. Let me say that first, because incarcerated people are people from so many different walks of life and backgrounds. But what I find interesting is that Twitter is the same place, right? Because I talked about this in your episode, the very first episode of Uncancel Culture, how I was actually a victim of police brutality.
Right.
When I was jumped by a bunch of police officers to the point where they sprained my wrist and I had to go to the hospital, I went to Twitter and they said, this was for standing on a sidewalk, by the way. I went to Twitter and they said that they should have killed me. So these are the same people.
Same people.
So I'm so confused about like weaponizing the specific instances where, or like weaponizing this language, these movements, weaponizing like isms, just so they can like justify beating down and berating and belittling people. And this was during like Black Lives Matter, the movement, when it was really at its peak. Like people with Black Lives Matter in their bio were telling me that I should have fucking died.
Of course.
So I just want to point out like the hypocrisy. And this might not apply to everybody. I'm not saying that it applies to everybody because I know they do that too. Well, it wasn't me, so it doesn't count. But you're just as fucking carceral.
Yeah.
No shade.
And like that's what we want to get into is Twitter is a place that'll tell you should die, you should kill yourself. And then if you actually did, or if you made a joke about it, oh, that's so and so. Oh my God, rest in peace. Oh, we should have appreciated them before they were gone. And the thing is with imagery is supposed to trigger y'all. Creativity is supposed to trigger y'all. I'm glad people were triggered because if doing the actions isn't enough to see that you're carceral, maybe you needed to see the imagery that you do basically put people in handcuffs and want them discarded. That is what you're doing, but the imagery is it's too much.
Literally, I literally tweeted, right? I said, y'all, because this was actually me minding my business. I was literally minding my business. Somebody tagged me in a post where they were saying like they didn't want a therapist who was 30 years old, and on social media, they were happy to have a therapist that was like in their 60s. One, you clearly are not working in the mental health space because like therapists who are older, they have a lot of issues. There's no shade. It's no Sade. But like there are some people like in every industry that just like carry these very archaic and old school views that don't quite fit progress in society. So be careful with what you ask for. I've heard nightmares, but they just tagged me out of the blue. And I'm just like, bro, like, it's like y'all want me to kill myself. I can't even be minding my fucking business without y'all constantly trying to get at me. The person is like, all these people saying all this stuff about you and you coming at me. It's like, well, yes, you're a fucking human being. And I saw you because you literally tagged me.
I've had people say, oh, I didn't think you would see that. I told you to kill yourself.
Like,
bitch, fuck you.
But
I did see it.
I had said, like, so y'all just want me to kill myself. And somebody said, it's not that we want you to kill yourself. We just want you to shut the fuck up. And I'm like, and you don't understand how you're carceral?
Who the fuck are you to tell me to shut up?
You think that you should be able to control my ability to exist in the public sphere because you don't like me or what I have to say, and you don't think that you're a fucking police officer?
These people is cops, baby, without the training.
Kill
they don't get
the
trained
cop
anyways,
in your head.
But
Kill the cop in your head. Like,
ooh, and it's like we using real spicy language right now because sometimes you have to. And for us to for the literal our podcast being Uncancel Culture, and we're talking about this, like the ins and outs of being dogpiled, for us to not even have an episode out.
Not even out yet.
Not even out. And people screenshotted stuff from other apps to talk about it. You don't see how crazy. You don't see how what you look like. You know we can see you.
And just a general lack of empathy. You want to talk about narcissism and the culture? A genuine lack of empathy for other people, everybody. A genuine lack of empathy for other people. Like, again, thinking that you have the right to dictate who the fuck is in the public sphere. Christina and I are not abusers. We're not people like, I mean, they've accused, right, I'm saying, but like they've accused we're not rapists, but we are survivors of that. But like they treat us like we are these pariahs. Yeah. And it's like the fact that you think just because we say things in ways that you don't like, and the thing is, and I know you've done, like this has happened to you before because I've seen it with my own eyes and it happens to me a lot. We will say something, people will jump on us for it, and then like 5 days later, somebody will say the same thing. Ooh. And they will literally be eating it up. And why is that? It's because y'all don't like the messenger. It's not even the message. It's not even the message.
And you know what? I would appreciate the realness of that being said, because sometimes I'm also delusional and I just don't like the messenger. But I know the message has some merit. I would respect someone being like, I just don't like you and don't want to hear you say that. Period. Cool. Leave me alone. Block me. We don't have to even be in each other's sphere. And it's like,
oh, they can't just block you and leave you in peace.
No, you can't just leave us in peace. And I think this is what I wanted to add is I'm just going to bite. I don't think this is what it is. I think people are being gaslighted, but I'll bite. Maybe people don't fully understand why the imagery of being jailed or discarded was necessary. First and foremost, I'm a comedian. I'm hilarious. And that it is what it is. Second of all, I have literally lost jobs. Because I've lost a job because of this. I've lost jobs because of being harassed and dogpiled. I've had addresses and phones and emails linked.
Same. My mom's address has been leaked.
Leaked. And people have called to try to discard of me and us in real life. And if that's not carceral, I don't know what is. And if you don't understand what it's like to actually be on that that type of stage. I saw one of these comments. One of the people who made the thread talking about us. At the end of it, well, you know, when it got too much traction, well, everyone be nice, you know. Well, I don't agree with them all the time, but
girl,
I agree with. I have some of their retweets, and then they said, you know, we're all public figures in one way, shape, or form. You have 400 followers, and that's no shade. But that you think that's the same as thousands and hundreds of thousands of people constantly viewing you, stopping you on the street? Like let's make this. Say this, right? There have been moments where people have addressed me, and Shahem has been there. While I've had men be a little too spicy to me, and they don't think that I have anybody around, and I know who you are.
take these knuckles, ball my hand in a fist, and knock you square in the middle of your forehead.
And Shahem has had to, not just like that, but there have been moments where you've heard and I'm like, okay, well, we can get into it. And Shahem got to turn around. What are we talking about? Oh, well, I just was saying that I appreciate. All of a sudden, the tune has
They don't think
changed.
people get active in real life. Bitch, I will knock you between the refrigerator and the motherfucking stove, bitch, in real life. Sorry. Sorry, I forgot where I was at, y'all. Sorry. Oh my God.
Like we said, this is time and place for everything. We really going in right now. But because it takes a level of, like, I can't be out and spend time with people or be at work without people being like, oh, I saw what's going on. Even when I want to escape it, people are like, I see you being harassed and dogpiled. Yeah. Even when I don't want to look at it, I need someone to be able to scroll to see, well, are they doxing me? Yeah. Well, I need it to be monitored at the least. That takes a fucking toll. Yeah. We're human beings. And there's an aspect of, being a content creator and visible online where it's like we say the society said they hate celebrity culture. They hate that we deify people. But when you refuse to see the humanity of content creators and you think you could dogpile and dox them, you are not seeing the humanity in them.
Yeah, I don't think they want to acknowledge that for real.
No.
If Christina or myself were to take our lives today or tomorrow, there would be people who would cheer, but I know for a fact a lot of y'all would feel fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that that means we're above criticism, because we are at the end of the day at this point, because y'all keep telling me, they tell me almost every motherfucking day that I'm a public figure and I have to, part of my job is accepting public critique.
Right.
And it's just like, I didn't take on that part of it, but whatever. We're not above criticism. This is not any way, shape, or form us saying that we're above criticism, but that's not what y'all doing. Like, it gets to a point where y'all are just like literally you're fault finding. Anything that you can latch onto, you're going to find and try to use it to beat us over the head. And frankly, I think they do it because they know that we just not going like cower in fear. Like, because I have I got a nasty mouth. Like, because I have a mouth.
Well, we both know that we both do.
Because you will get dragged.
You've seen it.
But that's what they be wanting. Like, they want us to, like, I think they want us to cower in fear. Like, what do you want? Again, it goes back to that performance of what they think accountability is. You want us to perform.
Yeah.
You want us to, like, literally bend over backwards and try to appease all of you. Mind you, all of y'all want something different. So, like, it's like you want us to, like, literally not exist at a certain point.
And if you want someone to submit, you could be a dom.
Oh.
Go get some You could go get some leather and spank somebody.
Such a Scorpio. Do you see how she took it there?
Because that's what it sounds like, a kink to me.
You
fantasizing about me way too much for you to hate
they want
me.
to kiss us on the mouth.
I think so too. Someone told me recently, this bitch threatened to hit me for 2 years straight. I've been thinking about your slappable face and your slappable mouth for 2 years. And I said, I think you would have kissed me. And she went, you're sexually harassing me.
Girl, go
You threatened to violently touch me. And I can't have you talk about my face and my lips.
No, but now it becomes, you see how they will flip the narrative so quickly? Now it's like, oh my God, Christina is a sexual harasser. Like, girl, shit.
Ooh. And I will say, let's bring it back. It's mainly Twitter.
Yeah. We got a really nice reception everywhere else.
TikTok, Instagram, in real life, like people coming up to me, because like I do stand up, right? So like people coming up to me when I'm out, oh, I saw, like, congrats, this is amazing. Like you're doing this at a pivotal time where I think people really need to hear this. Even now, like getting text messages and calls from people being like, oh, we're so proud of you. And like, and not even without the critique, not even without the like, oh, I see the nuance of what you're talking about. Like,
it's one point that I want to like also pivot towards, right? Because this is one thing that was mentioned, and I was going to talk about this a little earlier, right? People brought up tweets of, I believe it was me, because I know I've said this multiple times, like of me saying that cancel culture is not real, and then saying that we're grifting. Matter of fact, let me say this: grift to fucking who? Who are we grifting to? Like,
this. Yes.
Who are we grifting to? Like, we are Black. Queer, like
bisexual.
Like, are we grifting to our own communities? Like, what are you saying? Like, who are we grifting to? Like, I'm so confused. Because we're talking about like nuanced topics. We're not like taking shifts to the fucking right. Like, what are we talking about? Like, we have very, like, me and Christina, our politics are, like, we're getting to that later.
Yeah.
But, like, this is not that type of party. Like, I don't know what the fuck y'all be talking about with that type of shit. But, like, I did say that I don't believe that cancel culture is real. I'm going to tie all of this in, right?
Yeah.
I don't believe that cancel culture is real. I think that cancel culture, quote unquote, is one, the language that most people have access to. Again, accessible language. Who is going to come on and listen to a podcast called Outrage Culture? Because that's what it is. Outrage culture feeding into like the rage of people like being upset and angry on these social media platforms and algorithms pushing anger because that is what is profitable because it keeps people attached to the apps. Because when people are angry, they're invested. When people are upset, they're invested. Those are strong emotions. But that can't be the name of the podcast because it's long as shit.
Right.
I believe that cancel culture, quote unquote, again, is not real in the sense that cancel culture is just carcerality. It's people beating up on other people for the hope of like just exerting power over other people for the most part. Nobody truly walks away canceled.
Right.
How many times we talked about this in our own episodes? How many times have we been fucking canceled and we're still here? Canceled, quote unquote. Again, it's being on the receiving end of the public spectacle of outrage.
Yeah.
And frankly, it's just carcerality remixed. And that is not what y'all don't want to hear that.
It's the town square, it's the tar and feathering, it's the guillotine in the middle of it's medieval Europe. Society been done did this. It's just remixed.
Should we have named the podcast Carcerality?
That's not as fun.
It's not a ring to it.
It's not an uncancel culture. Look, it rolls off the tongue.
Uncancel culture.
And you mad at that. You mad because we look good in the photos. Be honest.
I'm gonna be real with you, and I be holding back, like, cause I used to be a lot more reckless back in the day. Anybody who knows me from back in the day know how I am.
I could never have guessed.
If I make you mad, I hope that you wake up every morning and the first thought on your mind is me. I hope that I make you so angry that you fume when you wake up and your body start convulsing and shaking to the point where you fall off your bed and you hit your head and then you fall back to sleep, wake up, and the first thought is me again. And then you run to your mirror to see that your head is leaking out the goddamn side. And I hope that you slip on the blood in your bathroom and that you fall down your steps on the way to the urgent care. And I hope that you choke while you at it. Okay? That's how angry I hope I make you. I don't give a fuck if you're angry.
And I'm the Scorpio. You see how Taurus is
I get to exist.
You see how Taurus
I get to exist.
I'm just saying I can't make a little jokey joke about being a dom.
Well, I think mine was okay. Well, the point being, I get to fucking exist. Just because you're mad or you don't like me, it does not mean you get to wipe me off the face of the earth. It does not mean you get to berate and attack and belittle me every time you see me just because you don't fucking like me, because you wouldn't do it in person.
At all. And they don't. And I actually really encourage you all, please find community. If you have a community that doesn't like me, or us, or whomever.
They find community in each other all the time. Oh my God.
I don't think they do because they're not acting real communal with each other. I think you should help each other process your feelings. I think you should help each other process the triggers that if we're triggering you, right? You should process that with your community. You know what I do when I come across someone I don't like or I hate or dislike and they're triggering me? I go to my community. I realize that they can have community outside of me and my community will be separate and away from them. You know,
what?
I don't waste my time.
You can have people you don't like and just like move on with your life.
Who would have thought?
Shocking. I didn't know that. This is news to me.
I know. Maybe is that in the DSM-5?
They're not going to pick up. Sarcasm is not their strength.
Oh no, they
or satire or like any like type of imagery because like media literacy is at an all-time low.
Ooh, critical thinking is low.
Yeah.
I also. While you were talking about cancel culture and it not being real, one of the things that I had to think of when it came, like I had to face with it myself when I was writing this thesis is because I looked at all the different forms of justice that people theorize about: retributive, procedural, transformative, and restorative. And restorative justice, I had to face the qualms and the discomfort I have with it because restorative justice is a justice that will tell you, hey, if the abuser admits their wrongdoings and they actively want to change and they go and ask the victim in the community what they can do to change, the victim of the community can step up and listen to the abuser. The restorative justice will tell you the person who is causing harm can be allowed back into society, and that's the type of society we should have if they do this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
That is really hard. That's so hard to actually accept, but people use the language of restorative justice without actually understanding what that would look like in practice. And I'm saying that's difficult for me.
Yeah.
Damn, there might be a world or a community where people that have abused me might change, and they might have community because they've been able to accept their wrongdoing away from me.
I think that is so powerful because also people you don't live and this is matter of fact, I'm so happy we opened with that question because that is so narcissistic. And this is something pivoting a little, or expanding a bit. This is something that is a problem in Western mental health culture too, because everybody is conditioned to believe oh, if I leave them, they're gonna suffer. Oh, everybody who ever did me wrong is out here going through hell. No, a lot of the people who you fell out with are thriving, probably doing better than you in some aspects.
Now,
and
some of them
that's
are texting me saying they miss me, but
well,
I have to throw that in there.
Yeah.
The Scorpio.
Yeah, I'm sure there's so many people I didn't from my past who didn't hoped and prayed that I would fall down and a bitch still walking.
Right.
But the point being, so many of us center ourselves in these ideas of what justice is and should be, that we wind up perpetuating that same narcissistic bullshit. The reality is you don't get to dictate who gets to exist.
Yeah.
You don't. And you not liking somebody does not mean that they don't have a right to fucking exist. Now, I will make note, abusers, people who are actively harming the community and the culture, those people should be dealt with. I do believe in old school justice just as much as I believe in restorative justice.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm building into restorative justice. I think
I'm trying to get
discard. I think some people need to.
Some people shouldn't exist.
I think, for change to happen, I believe some people just have to meet the maker.
I can name a few government officials if you want, but I'm not going to do that.
We're going to get on a list.
Yeah, I mean, I'm already on.
We are, huh? Yeah. Right next to each other, probably faces.
We said Free Luigi last time, so that's probably
did.
why. That would be cute if they had us next to each other.
I hope so.
Can I send in the headshot? Is that okay, federal government?
I hope you get my good angle. This is my good side.
No, but yeah, we center ourselves so much. I believe in old school restorative, old school justice, and I'm trying to work towards restorative justice. But the reality is, again, they don't want us to say it, but I'm gonna say it. Christina and I are not fucking we're none of the things that y'all try to make us to be. And oh my God, can we talk about how they are obsessed with doing this thing where they can't just dislike somebody, they have to create a moral failing to dislike them. It's not enough to be oh, this person rubs me wrong, or I just don't fuck with this person. Do you know how many people I'm just I just don't fucking like that bitch face?
Who?
Huh?
Say that.
You want me to say their names?
No,
okay. I was about to say, because I can say some names. But I can just dislike somebody without having to be oh, so and so is they're transphobic.
They puppies? Did you?
They that's what the fuck are you talking about?
Did you come up with that?
And I can tell you so many things people have said about me. When I call Donald Trump big, they still be mad at me about that. It's he is.
Well, it's a she.
I shouldn't say it. He is.
He's very tall.
And when I said that Elon Musk was built bad, they were you can't say that. I'm why? I don't know nobody else built like him. He is so built bad.
Someone I saw that recently said
he built bad. And when I say that, though, I'm every type of obic and ism in the goddamn book. It's just no, I just hate these niggas. Is that a crime? They will literally get off of their soapbox attacking these people and focus the energy back on motherfuckers on their fucking team.
I have seen that.
We supposed to be teammates. What you doing?
Sisters. This not feel like a sisterhood.
This don't feel like a sisterhood no more. It's just ridiculous. I think so many people just can't even admit bro, I dislike this person because I've seen me say things similar things, right? So many people, and this just goes to show that they hold me and you especially to higher and different standards. But I've seen people say the same shit about Donald Trump, the same thing about Elon Musk, and don't nobody say shit.
Yeah.
Why? Because they don't hold them to the same standard.
I've seen that. And I will say sometimes it's I'll be honest, there have been moments where it's oh, okay, maybe what I've said could be have a call in, or maybe what I've said, okay, I could, talk to me about that.
I
or like,
always knew Christina was weird.
Shut the fuck up.
That's what they be saying. I always knew that bitch was weird.
Like, the conversation that has happened, right? I think for both of us, there were moments where it's like, okay, I see the point of this conversation, the call in. That happened with the big back thing. It's happened with me when talking about colorism, like the over speaking. But you go overboard because of who I am. And there has never been a problem before I'm like saying similar language as somebody else. Why did
I have to be the first example for the big back
that's
thing?
my point, right? So it's like...
And I said it to a thin person, mind you, but they said like, they call me every type of fat, and I do understand that the term big back is fat phobic.
Absolutely,
Don't get into it again. But like, and I apologize for it, but I said it to a thin person, but I have had people calling me every type of fucking fat phobic in the book, even though that word was normalized and used so often. Like, I just thought it was a part of public lexicon, which I was using to read somebody who was trying to like shame a sex worker. And I'm in the middle of like trying to protect this lady who's unjustly getting attacked and antagonized by some ashy nigga. And I'm like, you got when you go to your local job at the Piggly Wiggly, and I said the word, like, but like, people are like, they turned all of that smoke that should have been on the actual bigot, the misogynist, who was actively antagonizing and attacking a woman, and turned it towards me. Do y'all understand why shit like this election be happening when y'all cannot get church?
Because they can't have the multiple things existing at once. You could be like, oh, matter of fact, maybe we should unpack the fact that this language has this type of like connotation. And this came up because we're talking about an actual bigot who's being harmful, blah, blah, blah. And we'll hold space for the fact, maybe we should all stop using this language. Yeah. Right? Let's just stop using this language because it denotes this. Because you see that happen with the R word. You've seen that happen with the S word. And changing, I hate it too. And changing, like, people being like, oh, that's AAVE. Why did you say, if you know the S word, I'm not going to say it, but it's like, like they talked about, I think it was Lizzo and Lizzo's lyrics.
Yes. Yeah. Can I actually say an example of something that happened, a call-in that I really liked? And it's so funny because it was Jean Doe. Like, do you know, like, she's a singer. She's an R&B singer. One, I love her down. Like, I was like, girl, I didn't even know you knew who I was. Because I had said the Pookie's Requiem song because you brought up AVE. Like, I was like, oh, I don't hear SZA. Like, I'm a huge SZA fan. So I'm like, ain't no bitch alive who can replicate that. Like, but when I actually heard it, because I played it in my car, I was like, oh, because it was louder in my car. I was like, I get it now. Yeah. And I changed my mind, but I didn't take down the video where I was asking, like, y'all, what's so problematic about Pookie's Requiem? And then I saw Jean Doe's video, and she was like, this person normally has so many progressive takes, so I'm so confused by the take. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I actually forgot to take the video down. I changed my mind weeks ago at this point. And it was so nice because she like, we followed each other, and it was like just that simple because she's like, hey, this is why I feel this way, because the R&B space and all that. I'm like, oh, perfect. Like, I totally get it.
That's nice. And it's as simple as that. Can I share a call in I had with that?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so people don't think that there have been many a moments where there's been call-ins with us, right? So one time, this is when they were telling Shahem that they weren't it was just, I'm trying to be serious.
Why knew you was gonna bring this up?
No, because I'm being serious. They were telling Shahem that they weren't dark skinned.
Oh shit!
They were telling Shahem was talking about
this. My winter shade, by the way. Don't nobody.
Girl, you dark skinned on the camera.
Yes. They got me so convinced that I'm light skinned. I don't know what to do no more.
Please. So they were telling Shahem.
Sorry to the sugar cookie community. I don't mean to offend y'all. It's not bad to be y'all.
So Shahem was talking about dealing with colorism, and then a whole bunch of people kept doing this real race science, color swatching, taking pictures side by side of dark-skinned people next to It was getting real. It was real human zoo. I was very scared. And they were, you're not dark skin, you're not this, you're not that. Now, mind you, I know Shahem in real life, and this is my friend. So I was noticing.
Undertone.
I was noticing people that were like my complexion telling Shahem they're not. So I went directly, you know, I was like, what are y'all are literally discounting someone's experiences because you don't like them. Like, for you to tell somebody that they're not dark skinned is insane, it's crazy. And a lot of people felt like I was speaking over dark skinned Black people.
Girl,
and I struck
most dark skinned Black people were like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Like,
I know, right? But I struggled with that because I was like, man, fuck all whatever the thousands of people, like, I'm defending I know this person in real life and y'all are dogpiling them on something that they actually deal with and have trauma with, and that's fucked up. I don't give a fuck about how the rest of y'all feel.
They don't give a fuck about my trauma.
They don't, right? But the Callin was kind of like, the way, like, people, like, if someone with my positionality and desirability politics within Blackness is, like, speaking on it, it can feel that way, and it can be triggering, and it can be, like, even if you're defending your friend, like, that's what people are viewing. And what I did say is when people...
I don't think you were wrong.
Well, the thing is, I asked Shahem. I went and asked Shahem, I said, do you feel like I'm speaking over you? And do you feel like... And she was like, girl, shut up. But what I did say was, like, I took the nuance of it. I was like, I understand, like, this isn't my conversation to be, like, leading, which is why I was correcting people who were my shade and lighter. Hold on. And then I said, however, I'm defending someone who's my actual friend in real life. So because they don't feel like I'm speaking over them, I am not sorry for what I was saying and what my decisions at all, because I'm going to stand up for someone I know. And I can acknowledge that my positionality might be hard for y'all to see.
I love you so much. Can I say that?
Okay, yeah.
Friend, you shouldn't have apologized, because I'm going to say something. Because I have coined this term, and this term, I'm telling you, it happens so often. It's called identity shielding.
Ooh.
And it's when people use their marginalized identities to shield themselves from, like, having to, like, to be wrong, having to be held accountable, having to have energy matched, and then some, having to be called out, you name it. So when because I'm gonna bring up a different example, because this is what is reminding me of. There was this like woman who was being transphobic, and I said, you're being fucking transphobic. But she's like, you can't speak over me because I'm a woman and I'm talking about, I don't want to be called no cis woman. I'm like, well, you cannot, one, it's a fucking word. You cannot determine, like, I don't want to be called, like, Black. Like, that doesn't mean I'm not Black no more. Like, the point being, because these are socio-political, because I know for the big word people who need to hear a big word, the socio-political like buy-in from like these social qualifiers or quantifiers. Like, these are things that you need the social buy-in. That's part of the socio in the socio-political, right? Like, just because you don't want to be this, it doesn't mean that you're not that no more. Okay, so with that being said, like, I'm like, girl, you're being transphobic. I don't give a fuck if you know goddamn woman or not. Like, you don't get to determine, like, somebody else's gender experience, and you should not let people take your own gender experience away from you. You're entitled to your own, just like they're entitled to theirs. Like, they're not, like, coming over to you and trying to tell you who you are and what you can and cannot be. Don't do that to nobody fucking else. And I'm a woman. I don't give a fuck. And where do we go from here?
And now what?
Don't be transphobic.
And now what?
I don't buy the identity shielding bullshit. You are not wrong for telling people, stop trying to discount somebody's lived fucking experience. No. And this is the problem. We keep apologizing to these people who don't deserve apologies.
No, I don't think I didn't really apologize for that.
That was kind of I will acknowledge what you're saying.
It was. I think, and what did I say? I don't agree. Yes. I said my first episode, I don't believe in apologizing. We don't believe it. Because my thing is, that was for me, that was an experience of community. I could have thousands of people or hundreds of people telling me I'm doing something wrong, but the person I'm literally talking about and defending, if they don't feel like I'm speaking over them, that is the voice that matters. Now, I can hold the space for the fact that it might be triggering, you're distrustful of me because you don't know me personally, and that's not going to hurt my feelings. But I'm going to speak up for someone that I know personally if they don't feel like I'm over speaking over them.
A little bit of a pivot, but when are we going to get Akon for saying that he was locked up and they won't let him out?
Get who?
Akon, for making fun of imprisoned people.
Or
he was not really locked up and they didn't have to let him out.
Or Poussey. Or Orange is the New Black was
wow. Oh my God. Such problematic media, like
Oh my God. I cannot
like,
believe that they had a whole bunch of black and brown femmes in orange jumpsuits on Netflix.
like, do y'all hear yourselves?
That was the representation that we
Do
needed.
you hear yourselves? God. And
Please.
at the end of the day, Christina and I are doing something creatively, artistically. It is an artistic choice.
And it was one on purpose. And it filled its purpose to me.
It did, because y'all
It
be
did.
talking. Like, y'all got a problem with this is directly to Twitter. Y'all got a problem with every fucking thing. It must hurt to be so fucking miserable.
A little bit. And it's
And I'm not sorry.
No, I'm not. It's a cesspool. It's really, when you get stuck in the Twitter like whirlpool of it all, it can make you forget reality and
Hell,
like
TikTok
touch on
now too.
grass. TikTok too.
Sorry.
It's starting to, yeah. Facebook. I mean, social media in general. It's a lot of it's a microcosm of society, I think.
Yeah.
But because people are hidden behind screens and usernames, they're not having to actually face it in real person in front of somebody. The amount of people. Ooh, and let's get here. Hold on.
Ooh, what's next?
The amount of people that have come up to me and sung number one a different tune about the content I'm creating, the content I make, and the amount of people that have come up to me and said that they really enjoy my content and they see me getting dragged and they silently agree, that does not help me. That does not. Do you know how hurtful it is for you to have people come up to you and say, girl, oh my gosh, I love you so much. I be loving your takes. And I be silently retweeting, silently agreeing. So you agree. You see that I get dogpiled relentlessly, but you don't speak up and say anything.
Yeah.
How is that supposed to serve me or make me feel good? And ask yourself, is that not you contributing the same bystander effect that we're talking about in our carceral system?
Amen. Thank you for saying that. Like,
that hurts. I'm being real vulnerable. Like, that fucking hurts.
It does. I'm glad that you're saying it because it's so true. And,
yeah.
like, we're never like really received when we say it. Like, and I know we're not the only people who know and feel that, but like when you see people like unrightfully, because y'all know it's like it be nonsense. A lot of y'all agree, and because again, they come to us silently in the background, like, yeah, I get it. Like, I think they're doing too much, or I think that they're like just making shit up at this point. You see it, but you're silent.
Don't say shit.
Like, you see it, but you're not standing up against the very culture that we're trying to address, like, to be honest. And that perpetuates that culture of carcerality on the internet. And look, I'm always first to say, I have participated in this culture before, and my biggest regret is I've taken too long to recognize how toxic it was. And I have done it. This is not just starting at this podcast. I've started this way before, which is why I have gotten into if you look back, what's so funny is the main instances that I've had on TikTok recently, like, have been because I said, bro, do not take this and antagonize a whole group of people, or bro, like, we can like disagree with each other without having to like resort to like threats and like insults and all that shit. Like, especially if it's over shit that's not like that deep, like at the end of the day. Like, and that's not to say that certain things are not deep. That's to say that we spend so much time, like, we just go so low, and then we be wondering why like shit is so divided right now, and there's not enough of a united front to fight against shit like fucking fascism. And I think, like, when you sit back and you just watch like people get fucking beat down, and like you join in, because a lot of the times they join in, but like if you know that people are wrong and you know that it's not that deep, and you just like let the shit go on, like, I'm not gonna say that you're just as guilty, but you up there.
You up there. You watching.
There.
You're silently watching. And what is that shirt that people love to silence takes the side of the oppressor? They love to wear that little t-shirt, have the little mugs. It's sick. And being like, because this is also a reflection of like the ways that I've like perpetuated it, or the ways that I've like enjoyed it, the ways that I've been messy in it, the ways where I haven't been able to like find the line, or maybe I do want to have a take. And there's a discernment of knowing when it's like, I could have a take, but the way this is moving right now, I'm just not going to really add or say anything because it might be taken this way. And I don't want it to be like that, to be taken as such. And having that discernment of like, okay, well, what's actually necessary? And there have been moments where it's like, there have been a lot of moments where I think we both have done this, have been like, taking up for someone or being like, hey, why are you acting like this towards someone? And then that pivots the dog pile to you. That's real. I'm not going to name that ain't real.
It's real.
But maybe that's a matter of how much community and gumption you have and gall, because I can't sit by and be like, y'all really gonna let this shit happen like this? Come on, man. Like, if it pivots the dog pile into me, maybe I'll take it. Maybe I'll take the heat off you. I don't know. I still haven't found that balance yet.
Let me say this. And now, more than ever in our society, we need to dead that shit. Like, and I was going to even make a video. I'm probably still going to make the video now, but they'll see it again on this podcast. Like, I was going to say, like, bro, like, I don't mean no harm. Liberals, leftists, cut that shit out. Cut it out. Like, right now, and I'm when you broke right before your next paycheck, when you on a 2-week cycle of getting paid, and like, don't shit be funny. Like, ain't shit funny, because I got $2 in my bank account in 3 days to get lunch. Like, ain't shit
put
funny.
Y'all in the shirt.
Right. Y'all gonna get along shirt. Now is not the fucking time. I get it. Y'all got some political differences. I really don't give a fuck about that right now. Now is not the fucking time. I don't find shit funny. Like, these little petty squabbles, like, over Beyonce performances and shit like that, dead it. Now is not the fucking time.
It's not gonna be funny when we in shackles again, y'all.
Right.
When
we in the same concentration camp, I'm gonna be pissed at y'all.
When you in the slave out, you arguing about shit. I think about that so often. You know how tired our ancestors, enslaved ancestors, had to be. The arguments we having now, while we all oppressed under the same damn system, I know it was happening back in the day. Can you imagine somebody being a house slave trying to be like, well, at least I'm in the house to someone who's what are we talking about? That's what y'all doing. You argue about the same shit, and they looking at us like, exactly.
Yeah. And I just
cattle.
Child, like, if you find yourself like just like overly consumed with this idea of like owning somebody like in an argument or debating about a topic that honestly is probably not even worth the fucking, like, right now it's real shit happening, and frankly I don't find shit funny. We have people to protect. There are people who are super vulnerable among us, and I think it's our duty to like focus on that and not trying to nitpick at people about little frivolous shit. Like, again, another cancellation for me is the girl who swears up and down I said I was going to drop my nuts on her head. Oh my God, girl, give it up. But I say this to say, like, I use AAVE, and because they don't like the way that I use my AAVE, suddenly, like, one, everybody knows I'm gay as shit. I do not want my genitals anywhere near a woman.
I barely turned Shahem on the other day when I wore a fake mustache.
Girl!
Barely, like, it took 2 years for Shahem to be like, almost 3 actually.
I know, as a seductress, you think that you turn on everybody, baby, but I promise you barking up the wrong tree.
Okay, well, either way, I wore a mustache, and she said, oh, you could be fine. So I'm just here to confirm.
I was like, you would be a fine nigga.
Shahem don't want their nuts near any.
If you was a nigga, we would, but
I'm crying.
But no, for real. The girl said all of that, and like, but the narrative, right? And it's like taking that narrative and spinning that narrative, and then like, one, galvanizing people against somebody. And I'm not trying to be braggadocious, but I'm not gonna I'm gonna toot my own fucking horn. Fuck it. I'm a community resource. Like, I literally provide people with education. Like, that is the largest bulk of what I do. Certain platforms like Twitter, they barely see that because they don't like positivity. Every time I post my mental health stuff on there, like, it barely gets any traction because they don't like it. Like, they just want to tune in when it's time to attack and antagonize people. But my other platforms, which are my larger platforms, like combined between TikTok and Instagram, I think I have like nearly 900,000 followers, and that's just TikTok and Instagram. Like,
yeah.
But the point being, like, those platforms, I talk about like fucking community resources. I like teach people how to find resources. I teach people about mental health stuff. Like, I literally do actual community work through that. I crowdfund for people. There are things that I do using my platform, and trying to galvanize people against that because of a fucking term that you're not familiar with. Even when I clarified, like, bro, like, that's AAVE.
You told the definition of what this means in slang.
Yeah, like, I literally had to pull up the goddamn what's it called? Urban Dictionary and everything. I'm like, bro, this is hip hop. Like, this is like terms that my parents used and shit. Like, and I'm just saying, I hate to flex on you. And I proceeded to talk about my education. What the fuck do you mean I'm trying to threaten you with my genitals? Like, girl, shut the fuck up.
Sorry, stop.
And then people fall into that trap of like constantly nitpicking at little shit. It's like, girl, shut the fuck up. Like, there are actual villains out here. Let's not make them out of each other.
Right. And even if there are moments with a misstep, okay, then a misstep means all the shit that you're gonna stop someone who's actually like helping.
Try to literally get me fired.
Literally, like, you're trying to get people's like livelihood. You're trying to get them out the street. And it's like, so because I said this or I made this bad joke, all the good work that I'm doing don't mean nothing.
Christina, that girl literally, my boss, we had a meeting about it. And yes, the girl who I said, like, I hate to drop my nuts on you, but like, I have 10 years worth of experience and 3 degrees, baby. You do not need to talk to me like you know more than me. She emailed my boss and we talked about it, and he gave me her name and stuff. I was like, I'm not going to do nothing with that because I'm not interested in being carceral with you. But I'm a trauma therapist, meaning I'm a full-time trauma therapist. I have dozens of clients that I see on a weekly basis to work through severe trauma. To think or not think of how you would be taking away from dozens of people a resource that they use on a weekly basis because of something so simple like that. Like, this is what I mean when I say it's not only is it short-sighted, but it's just fucking diabolical.
Yeah,
like,
you're not thinking about actual community. And maybe that goes back to the narcissism and cancel culture.
Wait, that was a good question.
We brought it. We were bringing it back throughout the whole episode.
We're going to circle back and close the loop.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good, I think we covered some good stuff.
Ooh.
What? Oh
one more, because I want you to talk on this, because if I say it, I'm going to cuss a whole lot.
What?
They said that we doing this for a cash grab. Can you clarify for the people, Christina?
Cash grab, crash bag with what money? Actually,
no
if you want to give us some money.
Do you need some money?
I do need some money.
We don't got no sponsors, baby.
All of this has been out of pocket, and it's
expensive.
It's not just this. The bulk of like being a content creator or like doing creativity and stuff, a lot of that shit is out of pocket. A lot of that shit is like, damn, I need to be in this room. I might have to get myself a flight to get there because they be paying us fucking pennies, or they don't think that, especially black content creators and black queer content creators, and then black queer content creators that talk about serious shit. People don't want to touch us very often.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is literally out of our pocket because this is just something we're passionate about, and like that's what's leading this and what leads a lot of our work. And God forbid that, yes, I do need to eat.
Yeah, like, we're gonna get paid for this eventually, hopefully.
Like, are you gonna quit your job at Walmart?
Oh, Christina, no.
I mean, what?
No.
I mean, Siri, if you're...
Okay, no. She didn't mean that, y'all. She didn't mean that.
Let me choose another job. When people were talking about propagandism, they were talking about teachers are the biggest propagandists. Are you going to quit being a teacher? Are you going to quit being a teacher? Are you going to quit being... I mean it, though.
No, you're right. Right.
And then you might be mad. Are you going to... We look at people who are like boycotting Starbucks and boycotting McDonald's. People still work there, though.
Yeah.
And I get it because they need to eat.
They said, not you work at... What the fuck are they supposed to do about having a job?
If they can't find anything else, that's the type of line we're talking about. Everybody understands we live in capitalism, but then we don't understand what that actually shows up as.
One quick, like, just note there, like just a little, like, side thing. Like, I saw that somebody getting mad at a Starbucks worker, and it's like, girl, the whole point of the boycott was so they could unionize. Like, why would they... What do y'all be talking about half the time? But I do want to also add, right?
We doing and this and that, yes and this is yes and improv.
Yeah, I don't know. I think as far as the cash grab, like, it really does go to show that y'all don't see value in what it is that we do, and it's very carceral again, because you think that we should not even be able to. Oh, this is another thing I'm gonna address real quick. They said that this was because TikTok was getting banned, which I never thought that TikTok was being banned. Like, let me be clear. Like, I've talked with people who actually work in the social media industry. At no point did anybody really think this app was going to go anywhere. It's too profitable. In fact, this like kick down the road is very evident. It's evident that they don't want to get rid of TikTok. They just want to buy it. If they wanted to ban it, they would have just banned it. Like, that's not the point. No, like at no point, and you can even ask like my friends, because I was with my friends when the TikTok ban was like I was with Anthony and Tucker, and I think we were there like when the app was shutting down, and they're like, "Oh, Shahem, you're not nervous?" I'm like, "No, like it's coming back." Like, and it came back less than a day later. Like, we birthed this podcast months ago.
You think we just fell out of a coconut tree?
You
think that we just
in the context of everything that is and was before.
You think this just fell out of something?
Like, and like, it's like, are we not allowed to even, just the carceral thing again, are we not allowed to have endeavors?
We can't expand.
Friends can't start a podcast together?
We can't speak.
We can't kiss your friends.
We can't kiss. Oh. I don't know why they're so upset that I kiss my friends.
Girl, not me though, y'all. I'm gay.
They're so upset.
Very gay.
That you and your friends like kiss and fuck on each other. I was like, now why are we in it? That's why I thought this is the girl that threatened to kiss no, sorry. threatened to slap me. Yeah. She brought up me and my kissing friends. So I was like, it sounds like you want to kiss.
They be crashing out. Oh my God.
I say you want to kiss.
They be crashing out about us. I don't get it.
Anyways. This was a lot. Let me clarify. I'm not, before they go, that she's disrespecting Walmart workers. Y'all know what the fuck I meant.
Yeah.
And I said Walmart because Walmart is a bad corporation.
Exactly.
I could say you work for Disney. I said Walmart because it's a bad corporation.
Fuck, and you said what you said.
I did say what I said. I did say what I fucking said. And the only reason you would think that I was trying to shit on their pay grade is if you thought that I make more than them. Like I said, do I need some money?
Do you need some money?
Yes, I do. Oh my God, I've been doing this for 3 years full time.
Yeah. But yeah, this is not a cash grab.
No.
In fact, this is just two friends. And let me say this, because I can even wake this up. I've been asked to do a podcast for years. And not only that, I have had people with platforms that are multiple times my own come to me and want to do podcasts with me. People who ask me to do podcasts. Multiple people. Like, I've had multiple offers to do podcasts. This one aligns with me more. And it's what I want to do because we're talking about a culture that we both have been victim to.
You have autonomy?
Girl, and they think they know everything.
Decisions about yourself? You would think that they knew the color of my booty hole.
That's so problematic. Oh. Balloon pink, by the way. It's like a balloon
rose gold with a piercing.
Oh no. Oh God. Oh Jesus.
Ooh, they gonna say we say
oh, booty hole. Girl, that's a booty hole. No, okay. But yeah, like, it's not a cash grab. We just actually care about this. We care about everything that we do. I don't know why they think the grift thing really gets me though, because it's like, who the fuck am I grifting to?
And let me be honest. Would this be a lucrative grift? I don't think
it's expensive.
If I'm grifting into this, I think y'all should help us grift in the right way.
Let me tell you something.
Why would I grift to this?
If anybody want to donate to our podcast studio fees, baby, because they have and we didn't want to just like come and give y'all anything. Do you know like who does like all the editing? Well, we don't have editors. We don't have video. Well, technically, it comes with the studio, the videos. Like, they take the video for us, but just we do the editing on the back end. We do all of the preparation.
Creative direction.
We do all of it. Like, so cash grab is really wild. Stop being a hater. Get your money up and go do something with your own damn life. Bitches who be doing, I'm gonna be honest. Bitches who be doing never be hyper worried about bitches who be doing. Like, bitches who do shit don't be on the internet constantly complaining, moaning, and nagging about people who do shit.
I think actually a lot of you guys could have a strong career in creative writing. And I think the types of fantasies that you come up with people that you don't know, honestly, why aren't you pitching?
Yeah.
Go become a New York seller's bet, please.
That's problematic though.
What's problematic?
Well,
to use your creativity, y'all mind.
It's problematic to do everything, Christina.
Making things up. I've read some things on me that I'm like, you ate that. Wow, that's.
So remember, somebody said that I am bourgeoisie, I think they call me, because I was living in the Brooklyn brownstone. One, I wish, bitch. I fucking wish.
God forbid you have a home.
Well, I don't have a brownstone. I wish I did. I wish. I wish I was balling like that. Not yet, y'all. Not yet. Oh my God.
Ooh.
There will be signs when you know that I won the lottery. There will be signs. I'll have 2 brownstones. Bitch, I ain't even got a half of one. So y'all just make so many assumptions about people, and I'm just so happy that Christina and I were able to clarify some of these things, though, because frankly, I don't think y'all deserved it. But no, it's not a fucking cash grab.
We kind of just went off, and I feel like the tone of this.
I'm sorry, because we said that we were gonna. We said we were gonna watch our language and be mindful and call people in. Frankly, nah, fuck y'all. It's fuck y'all for life. If you got a problem with me, keep that problem, bitch. I hope you solve it in your head.
And they are. Please talk to your demons, not me. But the rest of you who do appreciate it, we love you. The rest of us who actually do call us in, the rest of us that are in our communities that we could be like, okay, how could we do this? We have the people. But my friends drag me all the time. They tell me myself. We drag each other. Yeah. What do we like? Come on. We have it. But you aren't in my community. So fuck you if you're not and you talk about me.
Yeah. I mean, again, I hope I make you so mad you choke.
Oh my God. We need to stop.
I do.
You know what they gonna do?
I don't care.
No, listen,
they gonna do it either way.
They are. But if we see clips, they splice up to make new sentences.
They be doing shit like that.
You choke and booty hole, rose gold mine. Look, I'm gonna be like, creativity.
Y'all need to be creative directors.
Honest to God. You need to find it. Look, this is your calling.
Yeah. Anyways, is there any other point that I wanted to make on this? Just like the whole rollout being like, oh, like they're making fun of prisoners. Like, girl, die. Okay, I can't say that. I can't say that. No, I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean it.
Oh my God.
I didn't mean it. Auntie ain't mean that.
You see how we nuance.
Auntie, sorry. Auntie took it a step far. I'm sorry.
Say that. That's sad. Right?
Some of y'all can die though.
That jumped out.
I mean, Auntie ain't mean that. Yeah.
You could go.
You could die.
I want to know if it. Never mind. Let's not. Anyways, the rollout. Art is meant to be critiqued. Mm-hmm. And I'm okay with the critique of the art. And some of y'all got it and some of you didn't. And some of you might have went a different way. Yeah. And if you went a different way or had a different idea, come out your own pocket and made podcasts.
My last comment on that whole subject matter is think for your fucking self. Like, y'all are so susceptible to the bullshit. Because I see a lot of people who typically I view as being like really intelligent. Like the second that they see like a small amount of people, and mind you, I saw Stan accounts like starting this, but like the second you see a couple people like latching onto something and trying to antagonize or critique a little thing, use your fucking brain and use discernment. Everything is not y'all just fall for that shit every fucking time. Like psyops gotta really be like doing numbers. Like
doing numbers.
A lot of y'all gotta be part of that shit because like I'm telling you, every little criticism you see, you don't have to latch on and like give it wings. That's my last
and
criticism.
It's like I want what part of seeing an image, and I'm trying to be genuine when I say this, what part of seeing an image of 2 content creators who have been harassed, canceled, and have their lives changed due to online threats and harassment, being in imagery, creating imagery where we are dressed up in jail garb, right? Holding a placard saying Internet Police Department makes you think we are making fun of incarcerated people and that is not a commentary on internet police. I need I
wish I could turn my brain off like y'all.
Is it not, was it not clear that the commentary was
I wish I could turn it off.
You
kind of walked into the point.
Doink. Anyways.
Yeah.
That was great. Therapeutic.
Yeah. Anyways, let's move on to our third segment.
Ooh, that was a long second. Love that.
That was. I think we needed to get that off. Yeah.
And because this is the only time we're going to address that. That's why. Because this is the only time we're going to address it.
The only time we're addressing anything.
Every episode
and we ain't changing shit.
All right. Because my friend Philip did a great job on the photos. But
thank you, Philip.
So, third segment is Uncultured of the Week.
Who is Uncultured of the Week for me?
I was going to say. Twitter.
The U.S. government,
U.S. government.
very uncultured, very unclassy, very bad built, like very, very ugly, very nasty, very rude,
gross,
very despicable,
disgusting,
very fascist, very
terrible,
poor behavior,
oligarchic.
like so many things I can say about the U.S. government, but like I can't think of a single good thing at this moment. Very uncultured, beyond redemption at this point. Let's start this shit over. Somebody hit the reset button, please.
Immediately. Like it's time to just to the ground. Nervous. I did not watch
I didn't either.
I didn't watch the hellscape. I try to protect my peace. Because we know what it was gonna be, some bullshit, and it was. And I'm scared. These next times are changing, y'all.
You know, I saw something earlier that really did inspire me though. Our people like didn't freak out and panic back in the past. I saw this video on TikTok where somebody was saying like, you know, when like these presidents from the past were doing similar things, because I mean it used to be much worse in this country, don't get me wrong. Our people didn't freak out. We just like continued to survive. I do believe in our ability to survive as a people. Lean on your peoples. If you racist or you have family members who are racist and you're white, do something else to your people, a secret second thing. But everybody else, lean on your people.
Lean on your people. Yeah. I think that goes back to what you were saying about leftists and liberals. We got to stop it, because it's like this is the next several years, because it's not just going to be 4, is going to be what community...
There is not going to be an election, you stupid slut.
We might not have another one, but the leaning on community is really going to be important, and trying to nitpick where someone's line between liberal and leftism and lines ain't gonna fucking matter when you get a call that somebody needs some food.
Yeah.
And somebody needs you're gonna ask them, well, did you have a black square? Or did you say this or that? No, someone's starving. Someone's unhoused in the community and they need a place to sleep. Like, that is the type of shit you're gonna be faced with. And it's not gonna be the time to, when did you last stream Kanye? It's not gonna be the time for that, to be honest, yo. We can have the conversation and house you and give you food.
Girl, you reminded me of something. Can I say that it's been so weird because Twitter has been upset with me every time I tell people to be prepared for emergencies.
Ooh, I saw
it's like
that.
An alarmist, because I'm telling people to get your documents, because hello, are you aware of what's happening in the world? It is an emergency. Like, get your documents, have water on go, like have canned goods so you have food in case of emergency, have an exit strategy, and develop a safety plan. If you can't exit, bitch, like what the fuck about that is an alarm? Have y'all been around?
And honestly, if that makes me an alarmist, I'm setting the alarms because they have been doing it thus far. I'm being real.
Bro, these people are so annoying. But yes, who is your uncultured of the week?
I was saying Twitter X. That's what I was gonna say. I think that damn space is just uncultured
of the life.
It's in so many ways, and it's a shame because there were moments, like, I've been honest since like 2011, and it's always been a mess. But there was also a time where it was like, it was helpful to share mutual aid things. It was helpful to have different ideas and ideologies and not exist in like an echo chamber. And now it's just so like, it's so wired there. It's so, people are triggered. People are just trying to latch onto anything to make something pop, to make something viral. They
fall for the propaganda.
They fall for the propaganda so fast, and the bad propaganda so fast. And it's like, I can't even exist. I don't even want to open an app because I can't even exist there or share things in the way that like I want to, or get for a minute there, it was like where you could get news updates about like what is going on. I don't even trust that app to be the accurate for news, yes, and also the social climate of where people are at, because of it, just how charged it is, and honestly frightening. And it doesn't indicate any of the type of the community that I actually want to harbor in my real life.
And I just want to say this, just to add a little bit, like, if you get on that app and you see a queer Black woman and you see a queer black person, non-binary person, and these are your two public enemies, you looking at the wrong enemies, baby.
There's so many other people.
I'm just saying, like, you looking at the wrong enemy. Like, you are actually looking at the wrong enemy.
There's so many.
You might want to reassess your priorities
immediately.
And that's not what they want. They don't want to hear that either. Like,
and you don't have to like.
Do y'all see how y'all pick y'all targets and who your targets typically look like? Assess that.
And why it's so quick to cancel certain people who look a certain way. And that don't
Assess
mean you gotta
that.
like them or be in the community. I'm gonna reiterate that again because
Don't.
there's a lot of people that are marginalized that I don't like.
Why you want us disappeared?
But I don't want them to disappear. And I know that they're not the enemy. You know what I'm saying?
Why is it that most of the people who you want disappeared look like us, but you advocating for people who look like us? Explain it like I'm 5. I really need, break it down for me.
Please.
I really want you to explain that.
Maybe like I'm 6.
Yeah.
They might need a little, maybe like I'm 12 because
12. Yeah, they not.
The reading levels right now.
Oh my God. Girl, they finna be aggravated. It's okay.
The worst possible thing was for me to get into comedy and stand up because, ooh, child, that's just, I love it. Sorry, guys. Come to a show. But
I can't wait. I haven't seen you live yet, and we need to fix that. I need to see you.
It's been a year.
Yeah.
I have a couple shows coming up. So
let me know.
We'll be sharing them.
Okay. So
next,
last segment is Uncancel Court. I think we go back and forth between cancel and uncancel. I think it should be Uncancel Court.
Uncancel Court because the
You doing a timer? You want me to pull it up?
Do that.
So Uncancel Court, if you don't remember, y'all, is where we have 1 minute apiece to argue why someone, something, an idea, a group of people should be uncanceled. Okay. I'm gonna let you go first because I don't got mine. I don't got mine.
We do this every week.
I know. Okay, wait. I'm gonna think of one real quick. Hold on.
Okay, let's think. I want it to be kind of silly.
I got mine.
You go first then.
Okay, you ready?
Yes. Timer starts now.
Uncancel biracials.
Oh my God.
They have been going through it. And I'm not one to usually get in front of the halfy brigade because I don't really fuck with y'all like that all the time. But y'all have been putting y'all foot on these biracials' necks for too long. Africa. Blasians. Stand up. It's time to fight. Fight back, damn it. No, but like, leave them people alone. Leave them people alone.
Hey man, that's your argument. Okay.
That's all I got.
I think that was really nice of you. That was
40 seconds.
40 seconds.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to stand up for them because they've been getting really beat up on.
I think that was really kind of you as a light-skinned.
As a light-skinned biracial person myself.
I really think.
With 4 Black grandparents.
You were speaking for a community that needs. They really do.
Oh, wait. Oh my God. That's not going to help because y'all been calling me colorist lately. Be so fucking for real.
Fuck, man, we can't even be funny. Damn it.
Like, be so fucking serious. Like, that, it's like, where did that even come from? Like, they're like, just the vibe.
The vibe of a colorist?
And because I said, hey, y'all, let's not throw each other off bridges. They say, you never defend dark-skinned Black women like this. It's like, I list like eight people. They're like, that don't count. It's like, what?
All the time.
I'm the same thing with everybody.
Or they'll tell you, you're just using them as a shield. Whoa.
Like, eat a dick.
The biracial.
I'm sorry. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Eat a dick.
I think that's
and that's appropriate.
We can show the Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, I'll bring that one. Oh, wait, no, I'm not. I promise I'm not using to threaten you with my penis. But
you see the anxiety we do? No.
That is who I want. Uncancel biracials. And no, I don't mean that in a colorist way. I mean that in a y'all need to leave them goddamn people alone.
It's a lot.
Like, it's been nonstop.
It has been nonstop. And I'm just.
Biracial math. Like, why is Obama Black, and Kamala is Black, but
they picking and choosing. I get
it though, because it's some Black people I want to get off the team too.
And I think that's where my thing is it's not just biracial. It's a lot of So I saw this TikTok one time that actually made me laugh, and someone was like, I can't remember the ad right now. It's Breezy Fox, I think, was like, can someone tell biracials that getting questioned about your Blackness is the most Black experience you can ever have?
I love Breezy.
The alt Blacks. The
shouts out to Breezy.
You know what I'm saying? The suburban Black. That's a part of the game, baby. You getting questioned about your Blackness is a Black experience. And
God forbid you like a little bit of rock music, baby, except for Paramore. But like, God forbid.
That's real. That is a real Black experience. We do that to each other. But
shouts out to the biracials.
And then taking the pictures. Oh, I'd be like, damn, bro.
If you gotta pull out your parents' pictures and your grandparents, you might don't do that. Just don't. And put down I will say biracials, put down a poetry book, please.
A little bit.
We don't.
A little bit.
We don't care if you trap between two worlds, Buddha.
Man, 1/4 massa and another 4th who?
Obama was a mulatto. That's the one drop rule.
Oh,
sorry,
shit.
y'all. Okay,
Okay.
Who's yours?
Do I start it first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your timer starts now.
Now, I'm going to say uncancel TikTok for the foreseeable future.
Well, yes, hopefully, please.
TikTok really got canceled for them 12,
Yeah.
15 hours. And will I say the stunt that was had?
A stunt
I hated it. But as someone who loves drama, I see it. I felt like, instead of making January 19th the death day, you made it your resurrection day.
Exactly.
And that was very of period.
Exactly.
Stunt on us.
For some people, it's 9/11. Turn it around.
You know what I'm saying?
Turn
Boom.
it around.
Boom.
02. 119.
You know what I'm saying? Like, period. But yes, please uncancel TikTok and get my FYP back because everybody want to be on there. And it was actually sharing some good stuff. Now, Shu, I hope you're playing a long game. I don't know what you're trying to do here.
I think Meta bought it. I'm sorry. I'm eating.
But because you feel me. This is my co-counsel in the court right now. But uncancel TikTok for the foreseeable future. And if Trump is the one to uncancel it, I'm not thanking you for a damn thing.
He ain't uncanceled shit. Fuck that man. He built bad. I know if you think I'm fatphobic for saying that Trump is built bad, I've never seen anybody else built like that except for the grimace from Ronald McDonald's crew.
I don't know if that helped your case.
Oh.
I don't know if that helped your case.
He is built like grimace. Wait, never mind, y'all. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is that enough?
Stop saying it. You know the connotation.
It's because he big down bottom.
Because he got wide hips?
You do got birthday hips. Oh, shit. Okay, I'll take the cancellation for that one. It's okay. Trump has birthing hips. You heard it here first, people.
Oh, my God. This is, please.
Is that guy, am I going to get canceled? It's
my
okay.
He really does.
I'm sorry, y'all.
He really does.
I don't know nobody built like that, though.
I don't know what he looked like. I'm trying to bring it to the...
And I don't think Trump is fat. I just think he's shaped weird. Is that wrong?
So it's like saying if someone with a big forehead got a bad built forehead.
Yeah. I'm not going to name no names.
Bad built forehead. Well, then maybe if that's something that's canceled.
You ever seen on Twitter where they do the tic-tac-toe on somebody's forehead? That's a bad built forehead.
It's a bad built forehead. And you know what? I will say, if that's the case, then it just goes down into a whole... It goes down into a fucking snowball effect. And when people talk about people's features,
write the dissertation.
And we need to stop.
Write the dissertation and send it to me, girl. You email it. But other than that, Trump, he built weird, and I don't like how he built because he ugly and I hate him. And if that makes me problematic, bitch, I'll take the charge.
Like a cartoon character.
I don't feel that about nobody else. I ain't never seen nobody built like that.
You know who bad Hacker from Cyber Chase?
Which one is that? Oh, he built like
chin.
Elon Musk. Very cartoonish. Like he built like Elon. This is supposed to be a minute long, child. I'm sorry, y'all. Well, y'all, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
We had to get that off the chest, off the dome. If I said anything that offended you, I'm sorry. Email me and I will forward it to somebody who gives a fuck. But I'm kidding. No, I can't say that. I'm sorry, y'all. Auntie ain't mean that. Strike that one from the record.
You are fighting right now. You are fighting right now. You are fighting yourself right now.
I'm sorry, y'all. They be so mad at everything. I don't know these days. But y'all, thank you for tuning in for the show. Make sure you follow us on our socials. Subscribe to our YouTube, y'all, please. Share, like, comment, subscribe, follow, all of the things.
Uncancel.culture at IG and Instagram. I said that. And YouTube.
Uncancel.culture on YouTube too.
And TikTok.
No. Oh, well, yeah.
While it's here.
And Uncancel the pod if you want on Twitter. We're not going to be on there that much, though. We don't like y'all like that.
No.
But
right, y'all.
Yeah. Also, send in your questions for the questions from the culture.
Into the email.
Other than that,